Good afternoon to you all. Welcome to another episode of Over the Board Games, where I film, where I notate my games at my chess club on Monday or Thursday. Uh, this is a game I played on the 21st of January. I'm recording it a week later for no specific reason. Um, it was the first game of a new season, start of a new tournament. Um, we're playing with 36 people. Last year was my first year in the winter season, and I started in the B category, became second in the B category, and overall I became 13th, 1-3, which I was really happy about because I never expected it to go that well. Uh, with getting higher and higher, your opponents obviously get better and better, and this computer they're using selects people in your vicinity on the rating, on the ranking, I should say. So I was matched with number 14. I was number 13, which doesn't mean he was worse than I am. It's a good player. He's been playing for years, many, many years. And up till this game, I played about 6 times against him. Once in an official game, and 5 times friendly games, unrated. Uh, the only game I won was the rated game, the official game, which was good. So I beat him in last season for the ranking. But all the other friendly games I lost because he's a really good player. Fast player, aggressive player. Mm, yeah, so there we had it. There we have it. I was black, so let me just swap the board around. Mm. So I was black, and I was thinking at the start, well, if I ever get the chance to play for a draw, I might accept it. But obviously, you always play for a win. But I have this idea in my head, like if I can draw against the people who are on the same level or even a bit lower than me, and if I win against the bottom part of uh, the list, and if I just lose against the top 10, which is pretty much unavoidable at the moment because they're too good for me, then I might reach my goal. My goal also this season is to get in the top 15. I got to number 13, but I only no, I got number. I didn't play all the games. That's the thing. And the last 2 games, I played stronger opponents, and I lost a lot of points. So I'm hoping to get in top 15 when I play every week, which means it is inevitable that I play a lot of strong players also in the top 10. So obviously I'm not going to win. Well, don't assume things, but kind of thinking that I probably won't win them. So maybe if I draw the middle people and win against the lower people, then I might get to number 15. Anyway, you obviously also try to win. So I did go in for a win this time. And this is what happens. You cannot see it, but I played with a 78.6% accuracy and my opponent 76.6% accuracy. So it's quite even. And here we go. Yeah. So the issue is still here with if I film with this program OBS, the my pieces move very slowly. So if anyone knows how to fix it, let me know. And otherwise, I'll find out in the end. So this is quite standard opening, nothing special. The first couple of moves were quite. This is in Spanish, I think. The Rui Lopez. I always get the bishop out with the idea if he captures me, I capture with this pawn. And my knight wouldn't be to protect his pawn. So if the opponent grabs the pawn, my queen is free to get to this square, lining up for checkmate threat, but also aiming at the knight. So that's a quite neat little trick. My experience is it doesn't really work anymore beyond a certain level because people don't fall for it. I think it's maybe like a beginner pitfall. Anyway, he did take, so I felt like, whoa, you never know. And he's giving up his bishop. So I have at the moment the bishop pair. But he didn't go for the pawn. And I realized with him putting his queen here, if I would go here with my queen, there's no potential checkmate threat. So this meant I'm going to have to defend this pawn because it's now hanging. So I brought back my bishop to defend that pawn. We carry on with the developments. I didn't want to have any shenanigans with his knight coming here or his bishop coming here. So this is I don't really like these moves because they're slow, prevents you from developing, but still sometimes it's nice to avoid any tricks because my opponent is a very tricky player. Okay. Castling, developing. If there's any major things, I'll let you know. And sometimes you see a question mark with an exclamation mark. It's an inaccuracy. It's not that it's bad, but there's something better. But I'm just gonna leave it at that. Yeah, so we just keep on developing all good moves at this moment. He brings it back. It's a week ago, so I'm thinking what I was planning. I'm not quite sure anymore. Oh yeah. I remember now. This is it's so slow. I did see that with him stepping away with the knight, he's creating space for his queen to get to this square and then get in with the bishop, which I couldn't take, which I won't be able to take because it's pinned. So I knew he was going there, and I also knew if he gets here, I'm just looking at the squares and the colors. That's cool. I thought like if he gets here, he's I can't remember, but in a way, in a way, I thought this might become like a bit of a weak knight. So firstly, I stepped out of the way because if a sacrifice would come, I would have the option to bring my pawn out and not lose a rook. So that was my first plan. Then he did actually get there, and so I cannot really remember. It's last week why I brought my bishop out here. It had to do with like a defensive kind of thing because I was kind of expecting him to get into like some trickery and um, oh yeah. That's the thing because this guy is really clever. He's really sneaky. If my bishop wouldn't be here, I'm pretty sure he would have sacrificed, and I would have to take with this pawn. He'd have a pawn. My structure would be messed up, and he could take my knight. Is that kind of player? I mean, many people play like this, but he's specifically very aggressive like this. So I defended my knight, so he couldn't do that trick. So he did actually go to this square, now threatening this, which I previously talked about. So I had to get out of the pin which I did. Um, Stockfish says, "Don't worry about it. Just just grab this pawn." Don't know why. Anyhow, I'm still a bit of the defensive and being on the safe side. I'm not quite developed enough in my chess abilities to just counterattack and just be brutal and stuff. I'm not there just yet, which is no problem for me. Anyway, I'm out of the pin. He grabs a pawn. I grab a pawn, so it's equal still. He does actually go for this pawn, but if he does so, I'm getting this pawn. So we're quite equal. And I was also, what did I consider? Can't remember, because I could obviously get, well, not now, but I thought like if he grabs this pawn, I can go in with the knight, he maybe recaptures, I recapture, and also capture this. He's a clever guy, so at least he defended this pawn. So now I have no play, so I had to defend this pawn. So I offered him a trade, and if he trades, this pawn is also still defended by my bishop, which obviously this bishop is eyeing. So he took, I took, minor inaccuracy. It would have been better to, yeah, I guess so. I'd be undoubling my pawns. But there you go. Well, in hindsight, that might have been of a major. It might have been actually. I'm gonna have to have a look into that. Maybe that has a bigger influence on the outcome of the game than I realized up till now. Because in the end game, it all revolves around this area of the board. So we'll see. Not sure why I've rerouted my bishop here. I'm not remembering everything. Taking the oh yeah, no. I got out of the way, so this pawn has two attackers. That's the reason why I did it. And obviously, I did check if there's any shenanigans. Maybe he could sacrifice, and but then I'd be winning a bishop for a knight. So I took it. He took it. I took it. So you see, Stockfish actually recommended this sacrifice. So now we're just in the end game, and I think anywhere around this time, my opponent offered a draw, and I said I'd be happy for it with a draw, but I thought because I am one pawn up, but and this is why I should have taken this, recaptured it with the pawn, because my extra pawn is doubled and has no play in the game. So I never realized it until now I'm filming it. That's why it's so cool for me to film this stuff, because if I did capture it, I'll let you in on a little secret. We actually agreed on a draw a little bit later, but if I would have taken this, I would have won. So there you have it. Well, you never know if you would have won, but my cards would have been a lot better, because then I would have actually had a solid pawn up, and maybe would have been able to convert it. And now we're just shuffling around, doubling up the rooks. Trading some pieces, getting out of the way. And I thought this was going to be a weak pawn, but eventually it turned out to be a strong pawn. One of the main reasons why I couldn't get into a winning position. So I thought, and this is also not very clever. I've never been able to figure out why, but I was up, according to Stockfish, by 1.8 point. So I was in a winning position. And after the trades of both rooks, we're dead equal. Well, I'm 0.3 up. And now we're actually dead equal. He checks me, which was a good move because this square, I can never actually get into the game with my king. I can never get to his side. So that was a really good move. And that's the main reason why I eventually opted or agreed with the draw, because he's just shuffling around, trying to get some play. I cannot get into the game. I made a few mistakes. He didn't see them because he was so keen on drawing. But he's now like 3 points up, 2.5 points up. He had some play. He could actually enter my kingdom now, somehow, apparently. He did try. He just shuffle around. I tried to get for a trade of pieces. And if I would recapture, I'd still prevent my opponent from entering my kingdom. He wouldn't have it. I thought like I reroute my bishop to this square, but then I thought like if I get to this square, there's two options. He takes me, I recapture, he captures, but I'm in. I'm into his kingdom. But then I thought like, okay, well, but what if I put my bishop here and he checks me? I can't go here. I can't go here. I'd have to step backwards. And then my opponent is in. And I cannot then bring back my bishop, because then he would take it, I would retake it, and my opponent would get this pawn. He'd be equal in pawns, and he's in. So, all things considered, I said, okay, I accept your offer for a draw. Let's leave it at this, and we shook hands and played 2 more games, which I lost. No, so I didn't tell the truth. I think I won one, he lost. I won one, he won one of the friendly unrated games. So this was my first game of the season. Uh, so I'll be recording my Thursday chess games also. So I'll be loading them up probably on Thursday or Friday. In the meantime, I'm on chess.com to 1083. It's going pretty okay now. Hoping to start filming again with the rating client pretty soon. So that's it for now. If you do like my videos and content, and if you like to follow more of my games, there is I'm just setting this all up. So there's a button in the right hand corner, I believe it is. I don't know how it works. I think it's that corner. A red button which you can click to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to put on the notification for all videos. This will help me to get more followers and more views. Help me build up my channel, and obviously give people more availability, access to my content. That's why my name is Chess Access, playing extra smart, but also giving you access to my content and my chess games. Thank you, and until next time, bye bye.